everybody, it's Tamara from Prairie Town Girl here on Etcetera's, and today I've got quite a mess going on my desk, but I thought we could take a look at this little sort of matchbook project that I posted on Instagram recently, and it was quite popular. I've got little, my pages are full of pressed flowers from my garden. Yeah, and it's a very simple project actually. It's just how you decorate it that makes it your own. And I put some lines all along the back with the idea that, you know, you could journal on that. You could journal on the back of each page if you just decorate one side, which I think is what we're going to do today. There's lots of options you could have for this. Now, this is something I cut out on my Silhouette machine. So I used a pattern or a file from Silhouette, and the number of the file is 295181. It's probably a very, very old file because I don't normally buy the new stuff that comes out, and it's called a mini photo book. However, that being said, I'm going to give you some measurements because it's basically a rectangle, so you can easily make this without a Silhouette machine or Cricut or any other kind of cutting machine. And this one, because I used my cutting machine, my folds are perforated, but you can just score your lines and that's perfectly fine too. So I'm going to give you the measurements that I used, and I don't think I'm giving anything away because you can, on Silhouette, of course, you can resize your files as big or as small as you want. So I don't think I'm giving any big secrets away here because I did have to resize mine to fit it all on one page to get the most out of my page. So let's take a look at the new one that I cut out. So this is the base, this is the outside, and from one end to the other end is 6.5 inches, and that's 16.5 centimeters. And then it is, oops, I should move that over. It is 2 5/8 inch wide, which is about 6.5 centimeters. Did I say 6.5 over here? 16.5 centimeters and 6.5 centimeters. And then there are a number of, I wonder if you can see that. And pause your video. I don't know if you can see that. So the first fold from the bottom is 3/4 of an inch up, and then there's like another little kind of fold it back again about 1/8 of an inch to give you a little bit of folding space. And then from this other end I would go up 2.5 inches and then another fold about 1/4 of an inch past that, so that again you've got room for all your pages to sit inside of there. I hope that makes sense. If not, I will put some dimensions in the description box somewhere. Also inside of it, you've got some little sort of square pages that go inside, and they just look like that. And mine are 3 inches, they're not really square, they're more of a rectangle. They're 3 inches top to bottom, which is 7.5 centimeters, and 2 5/8, which is 6.5 centimeters, again, because it's the same width as your holder. And from the bottom of this one, about 5/8 of an inch from the bottom, you're going to do a fold, and that's about 1.5 centimeters. And then you can put your little holes wherever you want, and in those holes I used brats. So sounds complicated, but it's not. It's just a couple of rectangles. So for this one, this is going to go in my new shabby chic French journal that I'm doing. And so I want to, what I meant to do this morning was cut a window in each of these little pages, and then I was going to put acetate between them and do like little specimen cards for all my my flowers, but I forgot when I was cutting and I didn't want to waste the paper, so I'm just going to go with what I've got here. So I'm just going to use, I've run out of my glue stick, so I'm just going to use a little bit of Mod Podge, and I've got this leftover bit of paper bag that I'm going to use, and some flowers and a little bit of book pages. And I'm going to decorate the outside, and I'll decorate one of the pages with you, and then you'll see just how easy it is, and you can make your own mark on your own. I'm trying to be a little more light-handed with the Mod Podge, and then that way hopefully it doesn't buckle and warp the way it sometimes does, and that's probably just because I sometimes put too much on. There we go, get it right around the edges. Mod Podge is nice though because it does dry clear, so that's always nice. What am I going to put on the outside? Let's see. So I have this whole, I don't know if you can see that, I've got this little thing here full of, I've got greenery that I've pressed. These are just mostly individual petals, and then these are more flowers that I've gotten from my garden. It's mostly lilacs and violets and things like that. There's nothing, some pansies. There's nothing too exotic in here. Let's see here. I think I'll just go with that one for now for the outside. The only thing I would caution you on is whatever you're going to put on your pages, think about how much bulk you're adding. So with this one, because I put flowers and papers on both sides, it added quite a bit to the bulk, and I couldn't put as many pages in here as I wanted to. So just think about that. You don't even have to add anything, whoops, like this. Might have to use some stronger glue for this. You could just put blank pages for journaling. You could use, it keeps coming up on my own fingers. You could use just some really pretty scrapbooking paper. Let's see if this holds it a little better. Oh, that's much better. So you know, I like to add really pretty things to my journals, but I still need them to be useful in some way, usually. I'm trying this Craft Smart ink pad because it's a little bit, it's still brown, but it's a little bit more of a caramel color. It doesn't seem to like the little pads, so I usually end up just using the whole pad like this. Now, if you want to do these lines, you need to, this is the time to do it. I probably even should have done it before I put my flower on. I don't think I'm going to do that on mine. You've seen me do this before in other projects, though. I have some corrugated paper. I just ink it, I put my paper down, and then I use my brayer to get it on there. But I don't think I need that on this version, so I'm just going to leave it. And then we just have our little pages that are going to go in, and just basically going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to ink it up a little bit. And you don't have to do that bottom edge because you're not going to see it. It's going to be stuck in there. And I'm just going to do a little bit of the brown paper bag. And then I'm going to go back to this other glue. And I'm going to put my little flower on there. Sometimes you have to be, they're very fragile. You have to be so careful with them. There we go. And that needs to dry for a little while before I put it all together. So I'm going to put the other little pages together. And again, you could put journaling lines on the back, or you can just leave it blank, or you can decorate it, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do the rest, and I'll be right back and we'll put it all together. Okay, so my glue's just about finished drying. In the meantime, what you need to do is on that little bottom flap that you've made, you get 2 little holes in there, and just sort of in the middle and little ways apart. So I don't know, this is about 1.5 centimeters and just over 5 centimeters. So that's like around 5/8 and 2 inches marks. I don't know if that made sense. Just make some holes. And then make sure you've got your holes in your cards in the corresponding spot. So you might want to line them up and then take a little, I think the small size, if you have a crocodile, the small size on the crocodile would be a nice size. Whatever you need to fit your brads. So the next thing I'm going to do is just figure out the order of my little images here. And they're just going to slip in there with a brad. Pretty easy. 1 and 2. Oh, said it was so easy, and now I'm having, there we go. There we go. And really, that is it. And that should sort of slip in behind that piece on the front. Now, if you want to jazz it up a little bit more, I was thinking, you know, you could take a little bit of lace or ribbon and have that kind of tie around. But again, you're going to be adding more bulk. So I'm going to leave mine as is. It's just a little notebook. And there, now I've got a cute little piece of ephemera to throw into my journal. It adds a nice piece of sort of nature to any cute little journal if you do flowers. But like I said, you could do photos, you could do little photo mats. There's all kinds of ideas and ways that you could use this. So have fun. I hope that sparks some creativity and some ideas for you. So as always, I hope you're all staying safe and staying inside and crafting up a storm and having fun doing that. And I hope that this sparks some ideas and some creativity for you. And while my glue was drying, I went over my measurements, my little template in marker here for you, so you can pause the video and take a snapshot, a screenshot, and not have to try to go back to listen to my convoluted explanation of all these measurements. So I hope that helps out. Yeah, so I hope to see you back really soon. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.